Didn't see you there. Hi, I'm Bob Ross, and as you can see by my comically oversized book here, I'm going to be painting a wonderful scene on the artistic revolution. Now this scene is going to be highlighted by multiple artists, such as the famous Balthasar Neumann, Henry Fielding, one of my personal favorites actually, Johann Sebastian Bach, and Wolfgang Mozart. Now he's a wonderful guy, isn't he? Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you take a seat and enjoy this wonderful adventure through the Enlightenment period. Alright, well, you have a wonderful day now. Hi, I'm Bob Ross, and as you can probably tell by my voice, I was karate chopped in the throat by a ninja, so my voice is a little off right now. But as you can see, I'm painting a wonderful piano scene, and it's coming along very nice. What you want to do is you want to make sure you let a lot of the paint do the work for you. But in a moment, I'm going to be adding in one of my favorite musicians. It's a wonderful man. His name is Wolfgang Mozart. All right, and like I always say, I like to let my paintings speak for themselves. So I'm gonna let it speak for itself in a moment. All right, let's try and add in Mozart now.
Oh, hi, I'm Mozart. I was born on January 27th, 1756, and I died on December 5th, 1791. It was a sad day. But when I was very young, I was very good at playing the keyboard and violin. So good that I was performing for European royalty at the age of 5. And then by the time I was 17, I was on a court in Salzburg as a musician. And after that, I was done with doing Salzburg because I didn't really like it that much. And I moved on to Vienna. When I was in Vienna, I did many symphonies, concertos, and operas, and which I worked on a portion of Requiem, which was one of my works. I was born to my father and my mother. My father, Leopold Mozart, and my mother, Anna Marie Nee Pertl, in Salzburg. And I was the youngest of 7 children, and 5 of them died in infancy. And my older sister, her Aunt Marie Anna, nickname was Nannerl. Early on I was employed at the Salzburg court by a man named Carl Collierdo. And once I was done working at the Salzburg court, I moved on to Paris to try to find a job, and I never really did find a job in Paris. I didn't like it there. But then I moved on to Vienna, and I stayed with this family, the Weber family, where I lived for about a year or 2, and I met one of the daughters, which I come to love. Constance was her name. We had 6 children together, and 4 of them died at infancy. 2 survived, Carl Thomas Mozart and Franz Xavier Wolfgang Mozart. And over my entire lifetime, I did over 600 works. Many became famous, one being Symphony number 40. And at my death, on December 5th, I died at the age of 35, and still to this day there is many controversy on what I died from, but one likely culprit is severe military fever.
Alright, well, it's a little windy outside, so you might hear me yelling a little bit. But what I'm painting right now with my Tyrannosaurus Rex on is a wonderful scene, and this building has been designed by Balthasar Neumann. Now if you're wondering who he is, he's a German architect, alright? And he's not just any German architect. He's a German architect born on January not on January, in January. I'm so silly when I have a Tyrannosaurus Rex arm. He was born in January in 1687. All right, in Eger, in Bohemia. All right, well, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add him to this picture real quick. All right, so I'm going to add Balthazar into this picture with my brush strokes. And what I'm going to do, I'm really going to let a lot of the paint do the work for me, so I don't have to make so many brush strokes. Is he in that picture yet? Okay, okay. Sometimes I can't tell my paint. All right. He actually, Balthazar began his greatest churches at some point. That some point was in the 1740s, of course. Who could forget about that? I surely couldn't. All right, well, now I'm gonna let Painted in Balthazar talk a little bit about himself, because I like to let my artwork speak for itself. So I'm gonna let my artwork speak for itself, like I just said I would. I have a Tyrannosaurus Rex on, but it's mighty chilly outside.
Oh, hey there. I'm Balthazar Newman, if you didn't know. I've been working on one of my big projects. Do you want to see it? I've thought of this design since I was born, back in January of 1687. It inspired me to become a German architect, although I wasn't always planning on being one. I was originally a German artillery engineer for the German army. But with all this designing and such, it inspired me to become an architect. I even developed a refined brand of Barquet architecture. This is a mix of Austrian, Bohemian, Italian, and French elements of design, beautiful buildings. Some of the most famous were the Wurzburg residence and the Basilica of the 14 Holy Helpers. I was an architect of the St. Pauline Church in Trier. I did the Visitation of Mary there, but my two most famous churches were were the church in the 1740s. These included the Pilgrimage Church in Bamberg and the Abbey in Swabia. Yep, my life is full of spectacular pieces of art. Unfortunately, I died in August of 1753. Well, I better get going. See ya!
Hi, I'm Bob Rose, and right now I'm going to do a nice little self-portrait here, painting myself in the shoes of a wonderful author. And this author's name, you've probably heard of him quite a few times. He's a really, really great fella. His name's Henry Fielding. Now, if you don't know, which, let's be honest, you know everything about this guy. He was born April 22nd, back in the good old year of 1707. Now, the sad die when he actually was deceased was October 8th in 1754. And he was only 47 years old. Now, that was kind of old for back then, but these days people live long past age 47. Now, he was a novelist and a dramatist, of course, because, let's be honest, he wasn't back in those days. He was English, so he'd probably have a voice something along the lines of a nice English gentleman or Panther Stoves or something of that sort. Now, something about him, he was known for his rich, satirical humor, where he would just make jokes and jokes galore. He wasn't a very serious man at all. In fact, his first book that he wrote in an attempt to be serious ended up starting out as a comical kind of piece of literature that he eventually developed into something serious, and it was actually looked at his entry into the novel world. Now, aside from some of his literary achievements, excuse me, that ninja that karate chopped me in the throat, I tell you what, it's done a number on my speaking ability. He's actually got a very big historical part in law enforcement. He actually was part of the group that started London's first police department. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just reminiscing about the days back in Sharpham. That's where I was born, of course. And back the crazy days when I attended Eton College. They were a wonderful place to educate me. That's how I learned to be such a wonderful young gentleman. Me being Henry Fielding, of course. I'm not Bob Ross. Don't think of me as Bob Ross. Now, I established a nice lifelong friendship with a wonderful gentleman, William Pitt. He was just a wonderful man. Actually, after a romantic sort of episode with a woman, where I ended up getting in trouble with the law, which, if you think about it, that's a little ironic, considering I started one of the first police stages, as I've already mentioned, of course. My literary career began in London. Now, in the great year back, I remember it like it was yesterday, even though it was in 1728. A lot of crazy things happened in the year. I studied classic and law at the University of Eton College. That was a great place where I studied the law and classics. But silly me, I didn't think financially, and I started to run out of money, which was just a detriment to myself, if I do say. I was obligated to return to London at that point, and I began writing for the theatre. I love the theatre, Some of my work being savagely critical of the contemporary government, and there's not too much that's bad about the government, but when you find something that is bad, it really digs deep, so you just gotta work on it. You gotta work on it, Now, speaking of my education, after I died, my good friend Ralph Allen, he actually paid for the education of my children. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get back to writing my book, Miscellaneous Volume 3, which I'm a little devil. It's actually gonna be the first of the miscellaneous group of books, but I'm gonna call it Volume 3 because YOLO. Now, following suit with the wonderful piano scenery, I'm going to paint another one right here, as you can see I am. Now, I like to keep my paintings with both a touch of old-timey atmosphere and a little touch of a little pinch of present-day kind of things. I'm going to take a little bit of my lizard crimson and a little bit of my alpine white, mix them together, and I'm going to paint in a little pink iPhone on this piano here. Alright, now in a minute, I'm going to paint in one of my favorite pianists, Johann Sebastian Bach. Now, I could go on for days. I could go on for 5 minutes per person in a group about how much I like this gentleman here. But instead, I'm gonna paint a little bit of a very masculine version of him. With lots of mustaches and beards and just all sorts of masculine, just the epitome of manliness for this one. Alright, now I'm gonna let my painting speak for itself once I add him in here. Now, not masculine enough.
Hi, I'm Bach. I was born March 31st, 1685 and died July 28th, 1750. I was born in Germany into a very musical family. My family was of importance in the history of music for nearly 200 years. My father taught me how to play the violin, and my brother taught me how to play the piano. I enriched many German styles throughout my skill in counterpoint and the adaptation of rhythms, forms, and textures from abroad, particularly from Italy and France. I went to St. Michael's School in Germany because of my skill in voice. After graduating, I held several musical posts across Germany. My health and vision declined in 1749 and died in 1750. Historians believe that my death was caused by a combination of stroke and pneumonia. My abilities as an organist were highly respected throughout Europe during my lifetime, although I was not widely recognized as a great composer until the first half of the 19th century. I was generally regarded as one of the main composers of the Baroque period and was one of the greatest composers of all time. My mastery of the keyboard attracted universal attention and prevented me from being unemployed. My most colossal achievements include Passion according to St. Matthew and the B minor Mass. I was widely recognized for my keyboard work. My place in music is far higher than any performer or even as an inventor of new forms. I am a spectator of all musical time and existence. The language of music changed at my death, and my influence became operated. I'm ready to stop it.
Do you often find yourself getting overrun in a castle of your choosing? Then we have the product for you! This brand new suit of armor can be all yours for the low price of $29.99. 15 payments of that, of course, with shipping and handling, because who likes paying for just the product? Now, let's say your everyday orc or something like that comes up to you to try and kill you. We've got your own little chest guard, but what if this little orc likes to fight dirty? Well, it's okay. He's not getting through this chainmail. Your manhood will stay intact. I guarantee. Now wait. Call now, and you'll get these wonderful rusty swords. Not only sever your enemy's head, but give them tetanus, and that itches. Are you hungry for something rich in flavor and just filled with vitamins? Try a dead fish today. Do you often find yourself trying to hide a body in the bottom of a river? Well, if you happen to assassinate a king during the Enlightenment period in an attempt to revise an entire government, we've got the product for you. These wonderful cinder blocks will make sure nobody gets found at the bottom of a river. Do you often find dead bodies at the bottom of a river and they're logged with nothing but water? These wonderful dehumidifiers will make sure they end up dry as a desert.
No, wait, just go!
I'm not doing without the mini bottle of mascot. As you can see, I like a bit of kick in my foods.
Wait, hold on a sec, Nate. What else this needs to be done? I had to record that.
Stop, I ate you. I have a funeral to attend. Can we please get on?
And I can see you're really shaken by the loss.
Stop it, Bennett. Come on, we have to do this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's
Just
fine.
get my hand in it.
Okay.
Just get my hand in it, not all the fingers. Wait, I have a text. Oh, it's Jen. Who gives a fuck?
Professional. Beauty shots, jeez.
Beauty shots.
Wow.
I turned to look at the camera.
Yeah,
and
that
it
was a good
Stop.
What the got on my shirt?
Smile, kid. Just smile, and then it's all over with.
Paint. You're Bob Ross.
Wait. Smile back.
We gotta get this done. Come on, guys. Here, why is it?
Can we film this?
Well, Mr. Mack, I'd just like to let you know you look wonderful today. I'm going to start my scene after a short pause, of course. Get out of here, Luke Ray!
What's going on the bloopers?
Shh!
Yeah, we should go somewhere else.
Yeah, go play the piano. Go play the piano. Alexa, play it. I want that in the background.
No, just go.
Oh, didn't see you there.
Woo!
Explosions.
Balthazar Newman's. Say, ich heiße Balthazar Newman.
He's just
Okay,
Mr.
but
Mack
then
will
what?
like it.
Then what after that?
Read your shit.
You guys suck.
Just look right off the
Huh?
iPod?
You guys suck. No, we don't.
You know what?
So
Real
far,
quick,
it's been going
real
pretty
quick.
good.
Do you have any long pieces of paper we could use as a blueprint?
Don't go. They're just walking around. Hi, I'm Balthazar Newman. These are my blueprints. I'm a famous architect from Germany. I was born in Bohemia in 1687. I worked on many churches and steeples. Yeah, that's good.
No, it's not. You need some more.
I have to memorize.
We'll cut it together. All right, are you recording? I
Yes.
feel like it's not pointed at us. It's pointed directly at my tit.
It kind of is. You're right. It's not
There's no way I can make this 5 minutes long. Just saying.
Do it. Just talk slowly.
Besides, I'll be the one losing the points. You guys will be okay. I invented Barquet architecture. This included the Wurzburg residence. Some of my buildings of this period were very famous. I was also an architect of the St. Pauline Church. The last church was called the Visitation of Mary, a masterpiece by the Barquet, located in Altman and Maine.
your apron.
Why did you... God! It's supposed to be entertaining, not...
Oh, didn't see you there.